Welcome to Timmy Talk Sports, and I'm Timmy, and we're gonna do our predictions for the 2025 rivalry week games. We're gonna start off with Miami and Pittsburgh. Uh, Pittsburgh's coach Pat Verduzzi said before the what game was it? Notre Dame game that the game didn't matter to him because as long as they won the ACC, he was okay with it. He ended up getting steamrolled by Notre Dame, but ended up beating Georgia Tech. However, I don't think that Miami is going to let themselves lose to Pittsburgh. They still could lose to Pittsburgh, but I don't think they will. I'm gonna say give me Miami by 7. What about you, Dad?
You ain't gonna introduce me. You just
Oh yeah,
uh,
here's Dad.
I'm just relaxing here. So when you're looking at Miami over Miami and Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh has a really good team this year, but I don't think that Pittsburgh has played a team the caliber yet of Miami. I think Miami's size. I feel like Anyway, people, I think Miami's size. I think the power that they have. But you know what they don't have? Miami doesn't have this year. They don't have a Cam Ward.
I have Carson Beck.
But Carson Beck's not a run. Can't
Oh
stand
yeah,
behind
okay. I get what
pocket
you're
like Cam Ward could.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
And although I do think that Pittsburgh has quick ends, I don't think that Carson Beck has the legs to get to scramble out of the pocket under pressure. So I'm still going Miami.
Okay, there you
You'll
have
have
it.
to put me back on there, Teddy. I could talk from the side.
All right. We both have Miami winning. Our next game would be the game between Ohio State and Michigan. This is a very hatred, the most hated rivalry in college football, I think, or like most hatred between the fan bases. They will go out of each other's way to avoid saying each other's names. Um, both teams are very good this year. However, only one can win. Michigan has won 4 straight, and but Ohio State is by far the better team this year and won the national championship last year. Now, I've had to put a lot of thought into this, especially at this Michigan owning Ohio State as a late. But my pick is going to be Ohio State ending the streak and going undefeated into the Big Ten championship game. What about you, Dad?
Well, being a truck driver and being on the road, and I've seen this firsthand during rivalry week of the Michigan and Ohio State game, they will line up on the state line of each other's states and pee across the state line. I swear, I never in my life thought I'd ever see anything. But each side will say piss on the other. So, as a former Maryland alumni, as much as I want to see Ohio State lose, I don't think that Michigan has the team to beat Ohio State this year. With that said, it's because they don't have Harbaugh. So I got Ohio State winning this one, and it's going to be a blowout.
I said Michigan didn't have the team to beat Ohio State last year, and they somehow managed to do it. Our next game is
But
what
they had
I
better coaching last year.
they had the same coach.
They had Harbaugh last year, didn't
No,
they?
Harbaugh was what's his
Year
name?
before.
Yeah. Harbaugh left after they won the national championship.
Yeah. I don't know.
The next game is what I like to call the Cumberland Clash because this rivalry doesn't have a name, and it is between Vanderbilt and Tennessee. Now, as a Tennessee fan, I hate Vanderbilt. I hate Diego Pavia. I hate his mama, and I hate
What's
everything
his
about.
mama? Don't ever talk about somebody's mama.
That's a whole different story. And
What does
I
Mama do
and
to
I
you?
hate Dad. It's I'll tell you off camera.
I love his mama.
Shut up, Dad. It's going on YouTube.
That's fine, but I love his mama.
Okay.
Don't talk about somebody's mama.
Okay.
I will smack you for talking about somebody's mama.
And I hate Clark Lee more than anything. Okay.
You know, God says not to hate, Timmy.
That gold is the black and gold is the stupidest color combo in college football.
You're
Their
crazy.
logo is a V. It looked better when they had the star. With that being said, Tennessee hasn't beaten a top ranked team all year or a team with a winning record all year. So I have to look into it like that. I think Vanderbilt wins a shootout 42-38. What about you, Dad?
Uh, Vanderbilt's got a team to do it this year. Vanderbilt's got a team to actually make the playoffs, be in the 12th, and I think they got something to play for. What I do see Vanderbilt doing is I see Vanderbilt shooting themselves in the foot with simple turnovers. I think turnovers will be the deciding factor of the game. I got it being a very close game. I got Tennessee winning.
All right. Our next game that we're doing is the Cascadia Clash between Oregon and Washington. Usually, this used to not be a rivalry week rivalry because they did the Apple Cup and Civil War rivalry week, but now with them both being in the Big Ten, this is their rivalry week game. Um, I'll let you go first on this one, Dad.
Oregon's played tough this year, but I'm telling you, watch out. Washington seems to be one of those teams that will upset you because you're overlooked. Ever since Kalen DeBoer left Washington, everybody said, "Oh, Washington won't be nothing." Washington has something to play for, and they're one of those teams, like I said, that will upset you any week. Because they're overlooked. Give me Washington over Oregon. Oregon gets their third loss.
Oregon only has one loss.
Oh, do they only have? I thought they had two. All right, Oregon gets their second loss.
So Washington played a very good game with Ohio State. Obviously couldn't get the win in the end. And they could they played tough with everybody they played. They may not always win, however, they still keep it a good game. And Washington has been good. They haven't been great every year, but they've been good for the past, what, 10, 15 years now?
It ain't been that much.
Well, like yeah, it's more like 8 or 9 because they were in the playoffs like 8 years ago. That's when they
Yeah, I mean
stayed
they
consistent.
they've been. There's a lot to play for in Washington right now, but like I said, they had a good coach come into their program, build them a dynasty team. Actually, um, they've had some good quarterbacks in their program.
Hmm.
I just think that, like I said, they played close with everybody all year. Um, I thought Maryland was going to beat them, and then they shocked me and handed it to Maryland. So I give them credit for that. And Maryland had a good team. We just kind of fell apart second half of the year. Um, I just think they're going to beat Oregon.
And another thing I want to point out is Oregon plays close games with everybody for some reason. Iowa, USC, Penn State. I think they played Penn State this year. I could be wrong. They may not have played Penn State. But yeah, they played Penn State. They play close games with teams that they shouldn't be close with. And that's what scares me about Oregon is they're going to mess around and lose. They have a Heisman contender, Dante Moore, at quarterback. However, I feel like Washington is going to come out and upset Oregon and end Dante Moore's Heisman campaign. And the last game we decided to do this week is the other rivalry local to us. Well, kind of local. It's not too far.
Well, it
Virginia.
depends on that. You're looking at
Well,
3 hours or 5 hours.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
It's
not
like
no.
no. I
It's
mean,
driving
Sturgis
distance.
and Blacksburg are both relatively close because one is direct central and one's kind of
It's
southwestern.
kind of like Knoxville and Nashville for us. Except Nashville's a little further than Charlottesville, ain't it?
No, it's
It's about the same.
Nashville and Charlottesville will be the same. Are they playing in Charlottesville or are they
We're
playing in
playing in
Nashville?
Charlottesville this year.
Okay, so it's about 5 hours either way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, Blacksburg. I was talking about like the Tennessee and Vanderbilt rivalry.
Four
That's
and a
why I
half.
said
Yeah.
Nashville. All
Yeah,
right.
it's about 4.5 hours or whatever. Same, about the same distance, but either way, um, the Virginia Tech Virginia game is going to be a really, really good game. You know that Virginia Tech has the new coach,
Yeah, they got Jay Franklin now.
and I don't know if he's doing full coaching duties yet with Virginia Tech, but he is on the sidelines. He was there last week. I think that his presence with the team is going to make a difference because I believe that Virginia it shows a lot of positivity with Virginia Tech. It's building. He's up there trying to build a culture for Virginia Tech to bring them back to what they were. You know, Virginia Tech is a military school. It's they're heavy ROTC. Of course, they are a tech school. I still think that Virginia is where did they come from? Where did Virginia come from? Where Virginia has never had a team like they've got the last couple of years in football. Like they're making a statement for Virginia. They're like, "Hey, don't forget us. We are the University of Virginia. We are the Virginia school, not Virginia Tech, not Richmond, not Norfolk, not Old Dominion, not James Madison. We are the state school, and they're stepping up in the ACC now. Two loss Virginia. I mean, they're possibly looking at a ACC championship game. Um, they're definitely looking to fight to be in the top 12 for the playoff system. So give me Virginia over Virginia Tech. I think that they're trying to make a statement and stand up and show out. Give me Virginia over Virginia Tech.
Now, I think this is going to be absolute slugfest. All right, these two schools hate each other with a passion. All right, that's how the in-state rivalries are. If it's I don't fumble. South Carolina just fumbled the ball against Clemson. However, I think that it's going to be an absolute slugfest. Defense is going to come and it's going to be a very defensive heavy game. I think Virginia will have to kick a field goal to win the game, and I think they win.
Do
And
you really think it's going to be that close?
yeah, well, a rivalry game like this, if it's not close, then I'll be surprised.
I
Um,
mean, I
er,
know that this cast that Timmy's doing is called Timmy Talk Sports. But if you ask me, I think Timmy's talking out of his butt right now because I don't see it being that close. I mean, yes, I think Virginia Tech will play them hard, but I don't think it's going to be close. I think Virginia will beat Virginia Tech hands down. Um, I got 2 touchdowns on this game.
okay, now we're gonna do some quick fire games. Texas Tech, West Virginia. Who do you have winning?
Oh, Texas Tech.
I'm gonna say Texas Tech. LSU, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think LSU has too much turmoil going on with trying to pay all that money to Lane Kiffin that they're gonna screw up their NIL for the rest of the team. I hate NIL, hate it because you got these bigger schools that have more money than than the smaller schools, so they, but it, are we gonna pay $90 million really for a coach?
All right.
I mean, not we. I mean, I
LSU. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
yeah,
Iron Bowl. I have Oklahoma winning, by the way. Iron Bowl.
Iron Bowl.
Damn, Auburn. It's in Auburn at not, so.
Bama's going to win. I mean, after the loss to Florida State at the beginning of the year, um, everybody called for Keelan DeBoer to be canned. And look what Alabama came back and did the rest of the year. So, Alabama over Auburn. Auburn doesn't have the team.
I think that this will also be a close game. I think it'll be a bloodbath, and I'm going to take three. I think three fights are going to break out during this game, and there's going to be two ejections from both teams.
Well,
Uh,
they always, I mean, these teams are very competitive with each other, and it's always a close game. I'm not going to say it ain't going to be close. I just say that Alabama's got more on the line. So I've been surprised before, you know. Alabama has let us down when they played Auburn. Well, not you because you're a Tennessee fan, but
my mom's a Bama fan. UCLA and USC.
UCLA, I just you hate Nico, and I hate the word hate, but you just absolutely hate Nico because he left Tennessee. But
I hate it for how he did it. I feel like he could have done it a lot differently, and it'd have been a
I
lot
think if
better.
he hadn't been so greedy, I think he'd just, about the money thing, and then he got let down because when you let people get it, that's why I said I hate NIL because NIL was a result of Nico leaving. Okay, he wanted $4 million. He sees other college players getting big contracts. He came in as a 5-star recruit. One of the number one quarterbacks in the country. They kept, they said possible Heisman Trophy, but he went from a Tennessee team with a dominant offense to a struggling UCLA team. Um, I'm sorry, a quarterback can only do so much if you don't have the weapons around you. And he just doesn't have those weapons around him at UCLA. And I don't think UCLA can draw in that type of talent. And so, I mean, he bit himself in the he bit his own butt when he did it. So,
Yeah,
um, but I do think that UCLA beats USC.
I think that Lincoln Riley. I obviously UCLA is not going to a bowl game, and USC is. However, Lincoln Riley is one of those coaches who doesn't show up in big games, and I just, as much as I like Jordan Mailata, it's a coaching issue, and I think that.
Lincoln Riley did really good with Oklahoma.
But then he just forgot how to play with USC
Well,
or a
that's
coach.
well, it's not that he forgot how to coach. I just we're talking about USC. I mean,
And he always has a good offense, but it's never a good defense. This year it's been mostly vice versa. And South Carolina just picked the ball off in the end zone against Clemson.
I told you this is going to be a good game. This is a turnover game.
However, I think that it's going to be 28-21, I think. And I think UCLA is going to get the upset over the Trojans.
I think Nico's playing better the second half of the year, but I still don't think he has. Like I said, he doesn't have the firepower and the team around him like he had at Tennessee.
All right, for this year's Nappy Nap Bowl, Florida State and Florida. Dad,
I think Florida, man, Florida is really. I don't want to cuss on your stream in Timmy Talk Sports because I don't know how rated, G rated, PG rated,
this is my
R rated.
first Ike Log video.
So okay, um, I'm trying to keep it clean here, people. Keep it kid friendly, but I've seen kids under two crap the bed less than Florida has crapped the bed this year. Uh,
Oh, that's fun.
like I just talked about NIL. Hey, Pampers sponsor Florida because I'm telling you, they have crapped the bed all year long, and against good teams, bad teams, they let Tennessee come into Florida and they lost.
We destroyed Florida. That's not we can't do is we can't win at Gainesville
That and they did. So
and
that
we
just
didn't
goes to
just win
show
a
you
close game
they.
either. It was
I'm telling you,
blowout.
Florida has crapped the bed.
Uh, what I think is this is going to be a horrible game. I'm talking like if you're watching this game, I feel sorry for you, and that goes out to both Florida State and Florida fans. Florida State rode that hype from winning Alabama, and they're still riding that hype. Like we're a good team because we beat Bama,
No, they're not.
and that's
They're
what
the
that
same
stands
crappy team they were last year.
just with a win against Bama, right?
Yeah.
And I think that they are not going to be good for years. This is a rivalry that for some reason you can't have both these teams good in the same year anymore. Like a few years ago, it was Florida bad, then it was Florida State bad. Now they're both bad.
Miami's like, hey, look at us. We represent Florida.
Miami and apparently South Florida. Okay.
South Florida's always had a good team. I y'all sleep on these little schools like South Florida. Um, I'm sorry.
I just,
Y'all gotta quit sleeping on these little schools. I mean, look what Boise was doing for a long time. You know, yeah, they're out in the middle of Idaho,
all
but picking potatoes or whatever.
right. But what I was gonna say is, I think that Florida wins just because they don't want Florida State in the bowl game.
Look at your okay. Look at the population of North Dakota and South Dakota.
That's FCS territory right there.
Exactly. But yet it's the same schools in North Dakota and South Dakota playing in the FCS championship games every year.
All right. All right. And now I'm gonna pick a Big Ten game here. Here's a good one. They're going to be fighting for bowl eligibility in this game. Penn State and Rutgers both are 5-6. The winner goes to a bowl game. Dad,
Penn State.
I think Penn State has the talent. Rutgers fell apart at the end of the late season, like they do every year. It seems like Rutgers and Maryland, no offense, Dad, do this every year where they fall apart at the end of the season.
I love Maryland, and Maryland gives Oregon a run for their money on how many uniform combinations they got. Not a fan of it, by the way. I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, those uniforms are sick." They're Timmy, your hat's glistening, and you got waves crashing across your building. Anyway, everybody's like, "Oh, those uniform combinations." Yes, Maryland has some great uniforms. I love it. I love their helmet combos. Um, but I'm sorry, when you've got 170 combinations, that's too many.
Yeah,
You don't play that many games to have that many combinations.
right. However, I will say this. I think that Penn State has the talent. They're going to beat Rutgers based off of talent.
They just don't have a coach.
I just want to give a shout out to Alan Kaliakmanis. He's a good quarterback, but that's about all Rutgers has. So Penn State's going to win with their talent. ACC games. How about we do Wake Forest or UNC and NC State?
UNC. Uh Man, I'm telling you, Bill Belichick, UNC.
It's been
Give me UNC State.
NC State's been a sneaky good team this year too. It's not like they've been horrible, but Bill Belichick has just been disappointing, and I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't for his huge buyout, that NC or UNC would have him fired. I'm gonna say NC State by about 14. Cincinnati versus TCU. Both teams are 7-4. I think that Cincinnati is been a very surprisingly good team this year. I think you can agree with me, Dad. Um, and I think that Cincinnati is arguably, oh, there is a massive hold right there. Um, Cincinnati has been one of the better teams in the Big 12 this year. Unfortunately for them, they just couldn't get it done whenever they needed to and lost some important games that they needed to win. However, I think TCU's been in the same boat, but give me TCU against Cincinnati because Cincinnati just can't win those bigger games.
Yeah.
Cincinnati and TCU.
Uh, TCU and who?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. I really can't speak for either one of these teams because I really haven't followed either one of these teams. I don't think Cincinnati has the team they used to have over the last few years. So, um, like a couple years ago, Cincinnati was really good,
Oh yes, without a doubt they were.
but TCU was also good in that same era.
Yeah, like just a couple the year after Cincinnati made the playoffs, TCU went to the national championship game.
So,
I have to say for Cincinnati and Houston, this has been a great year for both of those newer teams from the Big 12. I think my dad would agree with me on that one.
Missouri and Arkansas. Let's talk about that.
Okay, I want to say this on Arkansas. Arkansas is 2-9, okay, but they have a like a total score differential this season of +3. That has to be like they are the worst record team ever as of right now to have a positive points differential. And I think that they'll end up I think they'll keep it close with Missouri, don't you, Dad?
I
Because they
do.
keep it close with everybody for some reason.
Exactly, and I think they can beat Missouri.
I do too, but I don't think they will. I think they lose by 2.
I
And
You
Cade
think who
Klubnik,
loses?
I think Arkansas loses by
I
2.
think I think Arkansas beats Missouri.
Oh wow. Bo Perbula is a semi decent quarterback. He kind of fell off after getting
I
hurt.
think it depends on their running game.
That is true. Mike Washington versus Ahmad Hardy. Those are both good running backs. Ahmad Hardy leads the SEC and is a finalist for the I can't remember what it's called for the running back award, but he is a finalist for the best running back in the country.
Turkey trot forward
I
because they trot like a bunch of dang
I think it's the
fat
Herschel
turkeys.
Walker Award.
I don't know what it's called. I'm not a running back. I was an offensive lineman. I was an offensive tackle.
All right, and I just want to thank y'all guys for tuning in to the first long video. And before I go, I want to read to y'all Isaiah 122. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid, for the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song. He also is become my salvation. I hope y'all guys
Wait
have
a
a great
minute. Wait a
day.
minute. Wait a minute. I just want to say before you close this video out to me, you read a Bible verse at the end of this, but you keep talking about so much about hate.
I
And
dislike, okay?
as both of us are ordained ministers, you shouldn't have hate in your heart for anybody, even in sports. You could dislike them, but you shouldn't have hate.
You're right. I worded that wrongly. I would never wish any evil on anybody. You can ask my dad that that's not who I am. And I should not have said I want to apologize to the Vanderbilt fans, students, and staff for what I said. I was wrong. However, I just want to end this with
He just strongly dislikes Vanderbilt.
I just like
I
Vanderbilt.
do agree. I like the Commodore Star
Yeah.
better than I do the V on their helmets. But hey, you know what? Vanderbilt's got a great medical college, and keep up the good work, Vanderbilt.
I just want to say this Vanderbilt Tennessee rivalry across all sports has been growing these past couple years with Vanderbilt starting to become good in everything, really. Now, remember to keep God first and always trust God because you never know what is going to happen in life and you'll need God through everything. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hopefully, this will be on YouTube by the halftime of the Ohio State Michigan game.